Namaskar, hello and a very warm welcome to Sunset TV. You're watching our special series in the run-up to Budget 2022-2023. After 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic, sans respite, the dominant concern is what will happen to the India growth story. The answer is very encouraging. Indian economy is poised for a major push, mainly on the strength of the penetration of consumer durables in the market. Paving the way for an exponential increase are the swelling numbers of the middle class in urban areas, the aspirational demand from rural India, along with government reforms. In the next 20 minutes, we'll do a SWOT analysis of the consumer durable industry. We'll also take a look at the wish list of the sector ahead of the union budget. Ever since the COVID-19 outbreak, many nations are exploring avenues to become totally self-sufficient. A major element of this quest is finding alternate routes to their key suppliers. For India, one of the sectors that will be key to attain the Atmanirbhar goals will be the consumer durable sector. The macroeconomic indicators for the Indian economy have been very positive over the last year. India is now the 6th largest economy and within striking distance of becoming the 5th largest. The icing on the cake is that India is leaping notches in the ease of doing business and breaking into the top 50 countries.
आज का नया भारत नई दुनिया के साथ चलने के लिए तैयार है, तत्पर है। जो भारत कभी विदेशी निवेश से आशंकित था, आज वो हर प्रकार के निवेश का स्वागत कर रहा है। जिस भारत की टैक्स से जुड़ी नीतियों से कभी निवेशकों में निराशा फैल जाती थी, आज उसी भारत में दुनिया का सबसे कॉम्पिटिटिव कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स है और फेसलेस टैक्स सिस्टम भी है। जिस भारत में दस्तावेजों में, कागजों में, कानूनों में उलझाना ब्यूरोक्रेसी की पहचान माना जाता था, वहीं आज ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस रैंक में बड़ी छलांग लगा रहा है।
The rapid rate of urbanization and the growth of a young population that is enjoying rising incomes are creating a large emerging middle class in India. This segment of the population is expected to grow by 21% over the next decade, from about 470 million people in 2010 to 570 million people by 2021, accounting for about 42% of the country's total population. As digital access becomes more affordable, along with increasing product awareness and a shift in lifestyle patterns, consumer spending on electronics and home appliances could see strong growth over the next 5 years. Indian consumers today are looking to improve their homes and lifestyles through global brands and experiences. Fueled by the falling prices of consumer electronics, these radical demographic shifts are expected to further transform the market for consumer durables and electronics in India. The appliance and consumer electronics industry is expected to double to 1.48 lakh crore by 2025. In May 2021, the consumer durables output increased by 98.2% compared with a 70.3% decline in May 2020. Electronics hardware production in the country also increased massively. In financial year 20, TV penetration in India stood at 69%, driven by the DTH market. The total active subscriber base has increased from 69.57 million in March 2021 to 69.86 million in June 2021. India has the potential to achieve a value of $100 billion in manufacturing of laptops and tablets by 2025.
Logistic companies played a vital role in moving the essential goods during COVID and helped the consumer durable industry growth. The sector delivered goods to ensure that India is digitally connected. Consumer durable companies were using physical mode of transportation services, but they realized the importance of logistic companies in delivering goods at remote areas during pandemic times. With the support of digital sales and improved logistic infrastructure, consumer durable industry is growing with accelerated speed.
In the consumer durable industry, China has emerged as the manufacturing hub for the world. Keeping in view India's vision of becoming Atmanirbhar and to enhance India's manufacturing capabilities and exports, an outlay of 1.97 lakh crore rupees was announced in last year's budget for production-linked incentive scheme. It is an innovative scheme that provides cash incentives to companies for enhancing their domestic manufacturing, apart from focusing on reducing import bills and improving the cost competitiveness of local goods. Smartphone shipments in India increased 8% year-on-year to reach 152.5 million units in 2019, thereby making it the fastest growing among the top 20 smartphone markets in the world. The headset market revenue in India is projected to reach $77 million by 2027 at a compound annual growth rate of 4.7%, driven by rising adoption of wireless headsets among consumers. Between April 2020 and March 2021, exports of electronic goods from India stood at $11.1 billion. And between April 2000 to June 2021, electronic goods attracted FDI inflows worth $3.2 billion. In financial year 20, India saw a trade deficit of more than $48 billion with China. Out of the total imports of $65 billion from China, 30 to 35% are electrical and electronic goods. Even though the dependence on China for electrical and electronic goods has declined, manufacturing in India will help in reducing the trade deficit. Consumer durable products are dependent on components, and India is heavily dependent on China for the import of critical components like compressors, motors, electronic chipsets, and more. In the current environment, when the world is looking at an alternate hub, India is way ahead in the list for consideration by most manufacturers. It presents an opportunity to the Indian manufacturers to set up and make a mark at the global level in the consumer durable industry. Localization of these components at scale can enable cost parity and also revitalize the micro, small and medium enterprise sector and open up opportunities for further downstream value additions. In Union Budget 2021-2022, the Finance Minister announced an outlay of 1.97 lakh crore rupees for the production-linked incentive schemes for 13 key sectors. The aim is to create national manufacturing champions and generate employment opportunities for the country's youth. It is estimated that minimum production in India as a result of PLI schemes will be $500 billion in next 5 years. PLI schemes are the cornerstone of government's push for achieving Atmanirbhar Bharat. The objective is to make domestic manufacturing globally competitive and to create global champions in manufacturing. They have been specifically designed to boost domestic manufacturing in sunrise and strategic sectors, curb cheaper imports and reduce import bills, improve cost competitiveness of domestically manufactured goods, and enhance domestic capacity and exports. All the units put together would help India to generate massive primary and secondary employment opportunities. Key sectors under the PLI scheme are mobile manufacturing and specified electronic components, medical devices, automobiles and auto components, pharmaceuticals, specialty steel, telecom and networking products, electronic and technology products, white goods, ACs and LEDs, food products, textile products, high-efficiency solar PV modules, advanced chemistry cell battery.
We are yet again proving that the policy that we are taking up, even in the PLI, the productivity-linked incentive through which we want manufacturers to come into India, is clearly to say we want to build on our strength, but yet link with the global value chains. So India should become a manufacturing hub, has always been the call of our Honorable Prime Minister. Investment hub, recently held this summit meeting with some of the best big investing funds, global investment funds. They have been meeting him, he addressed them. So this PLI is also aimed at getting more investment into the country. So if you were to look at it from the broad principle of Atmanirbhar, pharmaceutical industry is one of the selected sector. White goods manufacturing, ACs, LED bulbs, and things like that, even that is another. A third one is a specialized steel. India has enough capacity to produce in large integrated steel factories, good steel. But there are some specialized steel which we are inevitably importing. So when we give incentive for having a productivity-linked incentive scheme for manufacturing of specialized steel, we expect that our need for specialized steel for producing such commodities which can be both addressing the demand which exists within the country and also aim at exporting such products which require specialized steel.
The Government of India's policies and regulatory frameworks, like the relaxation of license rules and approval of 51% foreign direct investment in multi-brand and 100% in single-brand retail, are some of the major growth drivers for the consumer market. This sector has attracted $14 billion of investment in the past 5 years for capacity expansion. The higher import percentage provides a business opportunity to manufacture goods locally, which can attract even more investment from Indian players. Presently, the sector employs 2.54 lakh people, primarily across the 5 products, including air conditioners, refrigerators, washing machines, television, and audio sets. With increased localization, it has the potential to employ an additional 1.54 lakh people in the next 5 years. India has a competitive advantage of blue-collar and white-collar workforce available at lower cost against China that can drive higher productivity.
Production Link Initiative Scheme. PLI scheme has been playing the role of a game changer that is bringing investment in India, boosting manufacturing and enhancing exports from India. It is estimated that India's total industrial production will increase by over American dollars 520 billion during the period covering PLI policy implementation. Budget expectations. The industry is expecting that the government would come out with export-friendly set of policies, especially focusing on indigenization in high-priority technology areas, rationalizing tax slabs and promoting research and development for the consumer durables are also in the expectation list.
The consumer durable industry expects announcements on various schemes and proposals aimed at leveraging and enhancing the consumer spending power of India's 1.3 billion population, thus giving impetus to the industry. Consumer durables manufacturers, grappling with the recent surge in raw material cost and falling demand, have asked the Finance Minister for budgetary measures that will reduce cost pressures and improve purchasing power for the consumers. With prices of key raw materials such as copper, steel and plastic on the rise since November 2021, Players operating in most durables and electronics categories like refrigerators, televisions, and washing machines are feeling the pinch. From a consumer perspective, increasing the deduction under Section 80C will help reduce the tax burden, giving more spending power to people.
The key to accelerate the economy would be to address the critical issues of demand generation, localization, and employment. As regards the consumer durable sector, it took a big setback during and after the second wave of COVID, and third wave is on the anvil. For the last 2 years, that is 2019-20 and 2020-21, as per IIP, consumer durables witnessed a negative growth of 8.7 and 15.2%. Even before that, growth of the sector has remained below the overall growth of the economy, largely in the last few years. Hence, the need for encouraging investments and demand in the sector to grow Indian market of consumer durables. That said, the consumer durable industry is still poised to grow exponentially in the years to come, and schemes like PLI will pave the way forward to its success. The white goods consumer durable industry under the PLI scheme alone has committed an investment of rupees 4,500 crores. On the budget expectation, I would say it should lay down the foundation for appliances and consumer electronics manufacturing in the country, especially for air conditioner and washing machines.
The pandemic has stretched over 2 years, and amid multiple lockdowns, hybrid formats of work have become the norm. As leisure travel restrictions remain, and given the amount of time consumers are now staying indoors, they're spending more on upgrading home infrastructure. As rigid boundaries between a separate workplace and living space are becoming blurred, more people are keen on rearranging their homes to make it more utilitarian. The industry is optimistic about the upcoming union budget and expects it to usher in a balanced combination of reforms and regulations, which will, in turn, boost the consumer durable industry, contributing positively to the India growth story. A sense of understanding of user needs, a positive consumer sentiment, government support, and a range of smart offerings are some of the factors that will ensure that the industry continues its upward growth path in 2022 as well. Well, that's all we had for you in this edition. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned to Sunset TV. Namaskar.